called Frosty Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flower.
Well, I guess. I think it should be Dr. Parker, but... All right, here we are. Another fun-filled, informative episode of Frosty Dinghy.
Informative.
We got Mr. 0-1, Texas Longhorn fan, Kobe here. And go Tigers LSU, Wes. What's going on, Kobe? How you doing?
Yeah, I don't really think you're go Tigers. You're just anti-Kobe. That's what you got right there.
Well, I tell you what, being that I live so close to Omaha, the LSU fans really come up and support at the College World Series, whether they're in it or not. So LSU has always kind of been one of those that I actually do like watching. I thought it was kind of funny when Scott said they're not wide receiver U this year. The clip that got posted, I was just sitting there smelling my own farts because I knew that was a bad take.
See, now I never came out and said that any of their players were not good. I just said they're going to have a bad season. One game.
Yeah.
One game is not a whole season. So I have at least
but
11 more before I have to apologize.
Well, I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah. So we got 11 before I have to make an apology. Post.
But more importantly, we're on to the sport I actually really do care about now.
I'm talking about this college shit yet. Not a single
Or not. All right.
Only one person said something about your damn UCF gonna be in the thing, and then they got blown up.
Yeah.
One person commented, well, he don't know what he's talking about, but I get Scott is getting beat up left and right for his mouthiness.
Well,
apparently.
so let's face the facts. UCF, no one really gives a shit about UCF.
But
one way or the other.
Yeah, Iowa State did actually, somebody poked them with a stick. They did something this week. So
they did. So hey, if the worst thing I do is miscall UCF, I've done way worse.
Yeah, you don't go after the big teams, do you?
No, I mean, there's 4 people that don't like UCF, and there's 9 that do. So it was a pretty beige take on my part, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, now we can get on to what we're here for. Go ahead.
So NFL 2025 starts next weekend. So I know we've kind of already started with NFL talk already in a previous episode. But I guess let's start from the top. Let's kind of go through things. Let's talk. Yep. And so I guess let's start from the top of the AFC East, huh?
The East, huh? We're going the East. Well,
yeah.
How do you guys?
So
I mean, there's no other person to put at the top than the Bills.
That's right. So last year, if we want to review last year, Bills went 13-4. Dolphins came in second, 8-9. Jets came in third, 5-12, and Patriots ended up 4-13. Obviously the Bills, Sean McDermott's the coach, Josh Allen, quarterback. They're coming back again. I think, is this the last season in Ralph Wilson Stadium or whatever it's called now? Or do they got 2 more?
I'm not sure. I think I've been, without looking it up, I can't tell you.
So the Bills, obviously, I think they're no one's going to touch them in the AFC East. It's not even close. Looking at the schedule, I got Bills going 14-3. I really do. Coming in second in the AFC East this year, I'm planning on the Patriots. Mike Vrabel coming in as the new head coach. Of course, he was at Cleveland last year helping out. He wasn't officially coaching. He was a consultant for the year. Before that, he was with the Titans, and I think the Titans made a hell of a mistake letting him go. I think he's a great coach. Drake May, uh, last year, 66% completion passes. He only had the 15 touchdowns, but he only had the 10 interceptions. I think he's going to improve on that. I could see him going 10-7. I see him getting a winning record. I see them potentially making the playoffs.
See, sadly, I agree with you on the Patriots this year, so I don't know what we're going to argue about if we keep this up. We both had the
Yeah.
same hot take on that one. I think
So
Vrabel's going to help the Pats because he's run heavy, and that'll take a little bit of pressure off the quarterback for him.
yeah, and I think they're going to be a good team. I think Vrabel's a good coach. I think they're going to learn a lot from him. I think it's going to be a good year for him. Third place in the division, I'm thinking it's going to be the Dolphins. Mike McDaniels, I don't know if he'll make it through this year. I just don't see him having that good of a year. Tua Tagovailoa, obviously it's going to depend if he stays healthy. What's funny is when I was doing my notes about teams, I specifically wrote down his backups, which are Zach Wilson and the rookie Quinn Ewers. I think the season's going to end up on one of those two guys' shoulders. I think if if they are being when Tua gets hurt, I don't think it's going to be an if. I think it's going to be when Tua gets hurt. If they're still competitive and they think they have a chance of doing something, they go to Zach Wilson. If they're already out of it when Tua gets hurt, they're going to go to Ewers. And obviously, yes, Ewers is out of Texas. He was the number one college prospect coming out of high school when he came out, and I think it was 2020 or 2019. Like he's got pedigree behind him. Honestly, I don't know. I think the NFL is thinking differently on quarterbacks, especially after all the NIL deals. And so like I don't think he got taken until the 7th round. So I don't think they're really expecting anything from him. I think they're kind of taking him as a flyer and saying, "Hey, if we catch something, if we catch lightning in a bottle here, great. If not, we wasted a late round pick on him."
So what they've
and then
he's been doing a great job, but Wilson threw a temper tantrum to make sure he was that everybody knew he was second string. And the reason that they kept him at second string is just the financials of it. It wouldn't moving him back when he's getting paid as much as he is. I don't think he's going to be the starting quarterback when Tua goes down. I think if they put him in, he's only going to make it a game or two before Ewers is the one that's running it by the end of the season. So,
well, and I'd want to go back and double check it, but my guess is Zach Wilson's probably in the final deal of his rookie contract, so he's probably not making that much money. So it's one of those things they kept him on the roster because he's not costing them that much. And you don't really want Quinn Ewers as your direct backup right away. If something happens if something happens to a short term where he's only going to be out a player or two, you want somebody a little bit more experienced just in for those player twos. But if you're talking, you're going to give the guy a chance, then you probably want to go with Quinn Ewers.
And I said, will be starting by the end of the season, in my opinion.
So I got them going 5-12, and then the New York hot garbage Jets. I feel bad for Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a good coach. I think he, the problem is a lot of these guys when they get their first head coaching jobs, they're going to bad teams. And for Aaron Glenn, he's going to a bad team. He's going to the Jets. Justin Fields came in there, signed as a free agent to be quarterback for him this year. I do kind of like Justin Fields. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think the rest of the Jets are that good of a team. I got them finishing 4-13. I just don't see anywhere where they compete.
Fields might be the only good thing on that dumpster fire. Just say
So, anything else you want to say about the AFC East? You got
the AFC East is pretty much the easiest division to throw together out there because I mean it's so clear on the top, and Miami has too many injuries to compete for number 2. So, and the Jets are just in the dumpster every year, so we can leave them there.
that's fair.
Are we
So
crossing east to east, or are we going straight through the AFC?
let's go straight through the AFC first. That's how I got the notes wrote down on my sheet.
Don't want to mess your sheet up; you'll lose track.
Well, we can if your sheet works east to east. I don't care. We can do that. It doesn't matter.
My sheet works whatever direction's easier for you.
All
That's
right. So if we're going AFC North, then last year Ravens ended 12-5, Steelers 10-7, Bengals 9-8, my Brownies 3-14. You know, if we're looking at it, Ravens, I think they're going to be competitive again. They're going to be fighting for that top spot in the conference, along with Baltimore, along with the Bills, and along with Kansas City. They're in a tough division, though. They will have 2 games against the Steelers. They'll have 2 games against the Bengals, and believe it or not, they got 2 games against the Browns. And the Browns and the Ravens seem to always seem to split. They seem to go 1-1 against each other lately. So I don't think Baltimore is going to get the bye, but I could see them going 12-5. I think they're a solid team. I think they split basically with all of the AFC North division opponents, and they're going to get caught up a couple other times also. But I can see them hitting that 12-5 again. John Harbaugh, great coach. Lamar Jackson is he's an animal at quarterback. You know, and his quarterback play has only improved the last few years. You know, for the longest time, they didn't waste much money or time on wide receivers because he didn't really use them very well, you know. They did on the tight ends, and he plays the tight ends very well. Now he's getting more openings from the wide receivers. He's only getting better and better.
And he's got
So
the best running back pretty much in the NFL almost every year.
yes,
Henry just runs through, over, and around people like they're not even there. But he still runs quite a bit, and I honestly think that hurts him a little bit, is taking a lot of those shots. So I think if he picks when he runs a little bit better instead of just trying to make everything with his own legs, I think he'll do a lot better this season.
well, and what I like is they brought in God dang it, I can't think of who their backup running back is right this second, but he is one of those guys that really is a good runner, and he can really take the stress off Derrick Henry, especially when they don't need Derrick Henry to be Derrick Henry. I mean, what you want as the Ravens is you want Derrick Henry to be there when you need Derrick Henry. So when the games are getting to be blowouts or kind of out of hand, you give them plenty of rest. You take as many of those. Oh, it's Justice Hill. That's right. I apologize on that. Um, you want to take as many of those needless rushes off of Derrick Henry as you can, because the less touches you can keep for him effectively in the regular season is just going to be that much better in the postseason, and that's where you really want him at. That's where he can really make the difference, is the postseason, especially assuming you're going to host a game or two in Baltimore, and then have to probably go up to Buffalo to win the AFC.
Hopefully it's not snowing, because then they just move the games again. But I really don't like Buffalo. Sorry.
Well, I mean, they could have played that game up there last year. They didn't have a choice. That was
No, I get it.
you can't do that. And then next you got, to me, once again, and I called it earlier about a month ago, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they're going to have another solid year. I think it's Mike Tomlin's last year. I really do. I think he's tired. I think by them taking Aaron Rodgers, he was saying, "Hey, I want to have every shot at winning this as we can." They went out, they traded for DK Metcalf. Um, they're trying to make a play right now this year. They got solid tight ends, which is going to help Aaron Rodgers out. You got DK, who's a big target. They always have a good defense. Um, my only question is, what happens if Aaron Rodgers get hurt? I don't, I don't, I don't believe they have a backup really that's going to take over well and help them get to where they should be if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. I know they got Rudolph, Mason Rudolph as his backup, but I don't really have that much belief in him. Uh, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I think they go 11-6. If he gets down injured, they could be 3-13, 3-14,
See,
depending
that's
on when he got hurt.
every
I
team
just don't.
Ravens is a toss up in this, and it all comes down to injuries. Any one of those three teams takes an injury, and they're at the bottom 100%.
Yeah,
It goes for the Steelers, the Bengals, the Browns are already injured, goes for the Browns. But they do have a chance of being number 2, depending on what happens. I mean, if Rodgers goes down, the 2 backup quarterbacks can't hang. I agree with you on that. But which Rodgers are you going to get? Are you going to get the Rodgers from Green Bay, or are you going to get the Rodgers from the Jets?
I think you're going to get retirement tour Aaron Rodgers, who's going to let it all hang out and play like he's 26 again, because he didn't get to play his first 3 years in the league. Um, I think you're going to get the best Aaron Rodgers that he can give us. He's not going to be holding anything back. He's not holding anything for next year. He doesn't care about next year. He cares about this year, and that makes him a dangerous team. But at the same time, that makes them a dangerous team because they laid it out for him this year.
So, like I agree with you. I have the Steelers second, but that 100% hangs on which Aaron Rodgers shows up. But I don't think the next team that I got on there, the Bengals, are solid in their spot either. I mean, they could have the great year if their defense actually does something, which I highly doubt it will. But their offense is super powered. I mean, it is one of the best offenses that's in the NFL. But the defense, it can't be a who can score more points the fastest. You got to stop people.
This kind of reminds me of back, 20 years ago, and when you and I be playing Madden on our franchises, and we basically didn't give a shit about defensive players. We were going after the weapons because we knew. I mean, realistically, I knew I couldn't stop you if we were playing a game, and you knew you couldn't stop me. Generally speaking. So it was, I need to be able to score 40 points a game in order to win, and that's what the Bengals are. If Burrow goes down, they're screwed. If Chase goes down, they're probably screwed. If they stay healthy, I think they're the third playoff team from the AFC Central or AFC North this year. I really do. If either of those two guys get hurt for more than a game or two, I think they have a chance to be drafting some very nice defenders at the top of the draft next year. Probably not number 1, but probably a top 5, especially if Joe Burrow gets hurt. Zach Taylor, I think, I don't know, he's being put in a hard position, means the fact that all he's being given is offensive players. Makes it rough, but like I said, if they stay healthy, if Burrow stays healthy, Jamar Chase stays healthy, I think they're going to be a third playoff team from the AFC North. Either of those two guys get hurt, you might as well pack her up for the year.
Yeah, I don't even know a good standout person from the Bengals defense, to be honest.
Their DN that they just re-signed.
I know there's a few of them, but they're not 100% like top echelon. But if they work as a team, I mean, I've heard of Jordan Battle. I mean, his name comes up occasionally. Trey Hendrickson, but
Yeah,
it's not
Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson
monsters that you
Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year. He was holding in, I guess is what they call it now, where they actually go to trainer camp. Trey Hendrickson is the guy that if he, I mean, he's going to get double teamed 90% of the snaps because he's that good. So do I think he can have the same year he's had previously? No, because they're only going to be focusing on him. He's going to have a tackle hitting him. He'll have a tight end hitting him, and he might have a running back coming out and chipping him every time it's a pass play because he's that good. He is. The problem is I don't think anybody else on that defense is worth double teaming at all. So he's going to be getting hit 2-3 times every time he tries to go in for a pass rush. Everybody else, I think, can be taken one-on-one. Like I said, the Bengals need to score 40 to 50 points a game to be successful because their defense is not. Unless something happens with their defense, quick, fast, in a hurry. Shimmer Stewart got brought in. He was kind of out for a long time, the number 1 pick. Cincinnati didn't want to guarantee the contract for some reason. They were trying to not. The Bengals are one of those teams that they're not as financially liquid as some other teams in the conference, and I think that's going to hurt them. So, yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but they have all the potential. They just need to put it together.
Yeah, it's going to come down to their offense scoring 40 to 50 points a game for them to be in it. So
then
let's go ahead and dive into your favorite team there, sir. The old Cleveland Browns.
Dem Brownies.
Cleveland Steamers.
Wow, that's uncalled for. So yeah, I don't know what to expect out of Cleveland this year, to be honest with you. It's weird because Flacco's been named the starting quarterback. They went ahead as soon as they did that. They traded Kenny Pickett for the 5th round pick, essentially, which is what they gave up for him. So really, when you look at the deal overall, we traded. I think we traded a 5th and Darian Thompson-Robinson to the Eagles for Kenny Pickens. Then we traded a 5th, or we traded Kenny Pickens for a 5th. So basically, we traded Kenny Pickens for a 5th round pick, which is pretty awesome. Which ultimately, I think that's a win. It's going to be weird. So the first 6 games are rough. We are in, as we've previously talked about already, a very difficult division. It makes it very, very hard to be successful when you got 6 games against teams the way we do. Then you throw in the rest of the schedule that's coming in at them. It's not going to be fun. I mean, we start versus the Bengals at home, at the Ravens versus the Packers, at the Lions versus the Vikings, and at the Steelers. That's the first 6. So you're talking AFC North, NFC North, and every team, the Bengals didn't make the playoffs last year because they blew a game against the Patriots to start the year. Ravens were who they were. Packers, Lions, Vikings, Steelers all made the playoffs. So 5 of their 6 first games are against playoff teams. It's going to be a fight. So Joe Flacco, he's going to be given the first 6 games as long as he's healthy, without a doubt. If he keeps the Browns competitive in those first 6 weeks, if we manage to pull off 2 wins in those first 6 weeks, that's going to be amazing. If we go 2-4 after the first 6 weeks, man, I'm saying we got a chance at the playoffs. That's where we're at. Because those are some really good teams that we're starting the league off with. If we're 1-5, 0-6 going into those after those 6 weeks, it might be time to see the 2 rookies, maybe Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. I think both will get opportunities. Let's be honest. Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd round pick. Shedeur was a 5th round pick. neither one of these guys are the planned future. You hope there's a chance when you take a guy in the third that he has a future with you. More than likely, probably. I mean, if you go through the quarterbacks in the league, more than likely, if you're taking a guy in the third round pick, your hope is that you can keep him around long term as a backup. Will be successful 2, 3, 4 games at a time, need be. Never probably be the guy, but you want him to be successful. Fifth round picks, there's not many out there that are successful at that point. I mean, you look, the Niners somehow killed it with Brock Purdy. Of course, Tom Brady was fifth round pick, but that was 25 years ago now, right? Like anymore, all these top quarterbacks are first round picks. So to think that the Browns' future relies on Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders, I don't believe that. I think these are both guys we'll give a chance to. Unfortunately, I see us probably going 4-13, 5-12, having an upper pick. I think the nice thing for us is going to be that we made that trade during the draft with the Jaguars, who I don't think are going to be much better than we are. I think we're going to have 2 high picks. Maybe we can package them and get up and get one of these top tier quarterbacks next year, and really, or maybe our draft pick's low enough we can just get one. This season, I really only believe that the only real blue chip quarterback that came out was Cam Ward, who went to the Titans, obviously with the first pick. A lot of people had Shador going number 2 overall, but there's something there the NFL teams didn't like. It's not like, everybody passed on him for 4+ rounds. There's something there that they saw that teams saw that they didn't like. It took the Browns to the 5th round to be like, yep, we need to go ahead and give them the chance now. I don't know. Like I said, I think that's part of it is I think the league, the way it's viewing these quarterbacks since the NIL deals are happening, I think they see things way different. You look, we talked about earlier, Quinn Ewers coming out of Texas, a lot of potential, good player at Texas, but they didn't take him till what was it, the 7th or 6th round? I mean, I think people are a little bit nervous. I think people are nervous to take higher picks on quarterbacks now, especially as much as stuff moves around. Then I think they'd rather take their offensive linemen in those mid rounds. I think if the quarterback's not good enough to go in the first couple picks, I think they're trying to hold off on taking them. So
yeah, if you don't draft a quarterback in the top, I'd say top 5 picks, then they're not worth the hassle until you get in the later rounds because there's so many other players that are bigger needs at that point. I mean, anybody that needs a starting quarterback is going to try trading up to the top 5 picks to ensure that they get them. I mean, the top 1 or 2 is where you'd want to be, but it all depends on the amount of quarterbacks that are starting potential in the top. I mean, coming out of college. Like if you only have 1 or 2, you have to have 1 or 2 as your pick. There's 3 of them, you can get them in a top 5 situation usually.
Yeah.
So once they're past the 5th pick, they're going to slide to the 3rd to the 5th rounds easily anymore because it's too much hassle.
And as far as to finish out the Browns talk goes, I hope that the ownership group has the patience to stick with Stefanski. We're going back to his initial offense that took us to the playoffs a couple times. Last year, we changed shit up for whatever reason and tried to come into an offense that was more Deshaun Watson based, which wasn't going to work anyways. I have my thoughts on Deshaun Watson, but I'll leave those to myself because nothing good could come from that conversation. I believe Kevin Stefanski is a very good coach. He's won 2 Coach of the Year awards. Like, he's a good coach. They just need part of the problem the Browns have had over the last 25 years is the fact we've changed coaches so goddamn often. We haven't built up a program. We've, anytime you get a new GM, you get a new coach, they want to start doing things their way. They want to, there for the longest time, we didn't have any of like the mid-tier players because they just let them go because they weren't my guys. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping, even if the Browns have another rough year, I'm hoping they stick with Stefanski and let him continue to build because I think he has the base there. I honestly, I mean, I hope for a good year. Myles Garrett's a great player, probably defensive player of the year candidate without a doubt. There's some great guys on the offense. The offensive line could be very good. There's potential there. There's also potential for it to go bad.
I've never been a fan of your number one receiver, even when he was in Denver. So I think you guys need to look at next year getting a new number one. But that's my opinion. I don't know how you feel about him, but I never liked how he played when he was in Denver. So I think to help your program, you're definitely going to have to look at your receiving core.
Well, I think Jerry Jeudy really came into his own last year, actually. I think that's really, especially after they traded Amari Cooper, he really had to step up and he took the reins full throw. I think he's going to be an all-pro wide receiver this year, given the opportunities from the quarterbacks. I do think he's that good. The rest of the receiving corp, I have questions. I don't know how the rest of the receiving corps is going to do. That's questionable. I wish we could stick away from these guys that like to get in trouble.
All right. AFC South.
So
the only
year,
team I can see winning that is the Tech.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like D'Amico Ryans. I think he's a really good coach. CJ Stroud is continuing to grow into the quarterback position. Other than that, I don't know how many wins this division gets. It's shite.
It's going to be rough after you get through the Texans. I mean, the Texans are going to have a season. I mean, they're going to win the division, but it's not going to be like a 14 win season or a 12 win season. Maybe 11. They might get 11, but I'd put them at 10 wins to win the division, to be honest.
To me, the team to watch is going to be the Jaguars. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division. They got new coach Liam Cohen, or Cohen, however you say his last name. Trevor Lawrence still hasn't really lived up to the number one billing that he took. I mean, like, you thought he was going to be all world when he came out. The world did. I didn't really. But, I mean, everybody thought he was going to be this amazing quarterback when he was drafted, and he really hasn't. And then you have Travis Hunter, which they traded up for this year. Is he a running back, or is he a wide receiver? Is he a cornerback? Where's his place? What's he going to do? But the Colts, I just don't see them doing much. They brought Danny Dimes, got named the starter there over Anthony Richardson. That could be interesting. That might be the end of Anthony Richardson there in Indy. He might get another shot just because they're not going to be good enough to. Daniel Jones is starter, Danny Dimes there in Indy. Anthony Richardson's probably going to get a chance once they start to lose too much, but this will probably be the end for Anthony Richardson. The Titans, I like Brian Callahan. I think he's a good coach. I think Cam Ward has a future, but they just do not have much around them right now. That's rough. They're building from scratch again, it feels like. But they got a centerpiece with Cam Ward, so they could be another top 5 pick again.
So they got Travis Hunter as their number 2 receiver in Jacksonville. He's also one of the backups at cornerback, but I think they're leaning heavy on him being a wide receiver more than a D-back in their role game anyway. I got the Jags taking second. The Titans are going to be a little feisty, So I got them coming in third over the Colts. I think the Colts are they're gonna have a rough go of it this year. I don't see them being in the top two, let alone top three in their division. I think they fell off way too hard this year.
And then the Titans. Remember the Titans?
Oh, I had the Titans coming in above. No, if you could hear all of it, I'm not sure you could. But I said that I got the Jags coming in second, the Titans coming in over the Colts because they're going to be a little feisty this year, and the Colts are going to be fell off too hard. So
all right. So then we go out to the Wild Wild West.
And the Wild Wild West. That's going to be an interesting division.
Once again, you got the Chiefs probably at the top. Andy Reid is probably without a doubt the best coach in the league. He's that good. I know they just lost the Super Bowl, but they were 2-14 the year before Andy Reid got there. Since Andy Reid got there, they've done nothing but win. He's that good of a coach. I don't even know how. He was one of those that I think he was the offensive line coach under Holmgren when they were both in Green Bay, which means he comes from the Shanahan line of coaches. He's a people person. He understands coaching, and that's what it does. That's what's going to do it for him. So Andy Reid, of course, Patty Mahomes there at quarterback for him. I until they prove me otherwise, I'm going to take the Chiefs to win the West every year.
Do you think it's going to be Kelsey's last year as a Chief?
I'm not sure. It's one of those things that it kind of depends on how he's feeling. It's not. He's luckily one of those guys that if he's been smart with his money, not like it matters at this moment anyways. If he's been smart with his money, he's got all the money he needs. And then, of course, now he's just marrying a billionaire, so he's got more than anybody needs. Which congratulations it doesn't matter. As long as you stay married, you got more money than you need, right? Let's be honest. And I don't know. Did you see the New Heights episode with Taylor on there?
I did. Did you catch all the Easter eggs in it?
Fuck no, there's too many. But you look at the way they look at each other and then the way they talk to each other, you can tell they have a pretty awesome connection. So as a person who actually hopes the best for everybody's marriages except your first one, yeah, I hope it goes through.
Well, you know how their relationship started, right? He wanted to go see her, and he couldn't get up there to see her, so he threw a temper tantrum on his podcast.
Yes.
Maybe I should throw a temper tantrum on this one.
Hey, that could work. Maybe you'll find some lucky Louisiana State fan that will fall in love with you.
I wouldn't say Louisiana State. You're going to be in the shitter, too.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go
and then
Tigers.
Spell it wrong when you type it out. It's
That's
be like
right.
Grox or whatever it is. Grox Tigers. Sorry,
yes,
I'm
indeed.
just digging my hole. I'm just saying.
But
no, I think that it could be Kelsey's last year. I think he's making a lot of money off the field, and he's got different priorities after this season, especially if they win it. If they do end up winning the Super Bowl, I think he's going to hang it up. I really do.
I can see that, especially if they win at all. I can see him calling it then. Then you continue down this once again. So like the Chargers,
so
I think are a good team.
Now we get into the trouble.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out who comes in second in this division.
I will take the Chargers. I like Jim Harbaugh as a coach. He's a player. He's a former player. He's one of those guys that I think the players can respect. They made the playoffs last year. I think they're good. You got the Broncos. I don't think they're going to make it again. I don't really like Sean Payton. I think he's a giant whiny bitch. There's nothing I like about Sean Payton. It's sorry, Sean, if you hear this. You probably have a cousin in Norway that listens to our podcast. But I don't like Sean Payton. I hope you lose every game. I mean, it's the Broncos who I already hate, and then you throw Sean Payton on as their coach. Fuck, here you go. Here's your hot take. The LSU Tigers are going to win more games than the fucking Denver Broncos.
I can only imagine what you're saying right now. I haven't heard you this entire time. But I'm sure it'll be funny when I finally get to listen to it.
It'll probably go on the TikTok.
Yeah, we'll probably have that clip by the end of the night. So,
And then
if I read your lips right, I'm pretty sure that the Chargers were second.
Yes. Yep. I have the Chargers second, and then the Raiders, and hopefully the Raiders come in third. I love Pete Carroll. That is another guy that is infectious to play for. They got Geno Smith, their quarterback. They traded for Kenny Pickett, who might end up actually becoming the quarterback before the end of the year. But yeah, and then I'm gonna take the Broncos going 0-17 because fuck them.
Broncos going 0-17. You heard it here. The Frosty Dinghy podcast right there. 0-17 for the Broncos. That means the Raiders are going to finish higher than them. How can you even imagine that?
Because fuck the Broncos.
I can't believe you're putting the Raiders ahead of them, though.
Fuck the Broncos, that's why.
All right. So we got the Chefs, good old Chefs at number 1, right? You got Chargers rolling through at number 2 because Herbert's going to have a good year. I honestly think they're going to have a really good year. I had Broncos at 3rd because I wasn't quite fuck the Broncos. Not quite, but I don't think they're going to have a great year. I don't think they're 0-17 worthy, but I think they're better than the Raiders. But
that's probably all fair.
If the Raiders use their new shiny car that they just got in the draft, they might actually be able to do something if they use him properly. Now, it's the Raiders, so that's a stretch. But there is a guy I went to high school with that swears the Raiders are going to be the best team ever. Every year, like a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Wow.
I'm just saying,
so,
hey, diehard Raider. So he might
were you the one,
a little bit of a.
Were you the one that sent me the TikTok that said, hey, so there has been no asteroids that have hit Earth the last 30 years. What do you give the odds of an asteroid hitting Earth this next year?
I know I'm pretty sure that we talked about that one. Yeah, it's really slim.
So it's been 30 years since the Cowboys have won the Super Bowl. So what do you think the odds are of the Cowboys winning the fucking Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, you also have to look at it this way. The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl on a flat screen TV.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
That could be why they get punched all the time every season. So you see somebody punching one. I don't know.
I like it.
So that
all right. So
let's just slide right into the Cowboy division since we're already on it.
Yeah,
I know where that throws us out over, but the old
it works for me.
Cowboys.
The NFC East.
I think their biggest mistake was re-signing Dak. When they re-signed Dak, that was the biggest mistake they made. That might be bigger than trading away their number 1 defensive player to the Packers, who beat them last year.
Yeah, So have you watched any of that America's Team documentary on Netflix at all?
Absolutely not.
So it's really fascinating. It talks about the Cowboys and Jerry's first starting and everything that happened in the 90s with him and Jimmy Johnson and Switzer. And I just wonder, like, I don't understand why he didn't get him re-signed. I kind of almost wonder if Jerry isn't having money problems. Like he was saying on that documentary, he was losing $1 million a month in like the 92 season or something like that. Like one of the first years before the Super Bowls. They're losing $1 million a month. He said the greatest thing he could do at the time was his ability to borrow money. I mean, I know he's, paid for the stadium and all that shit down there, which is awesome, but it makes me wonder if he's not very liquid. I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass on that, but I think that's why Parsons got traded. I don't think he had the money to to sign him the way he needed to be signed.
And I think it was just an ego thing because of how he behaved in the negotiations. I mean, calling him the wrong name on purpose, trying to get him worked up, stuff like that. I honestly think it was just when Jerry threw out a deal, verbal deal, and they thought that they were going to come to terms, and then they never put it in writing, and when they put it in writing, something changed, and Parsons didn't like it. So he told him that, and that's when Jerry went off his rocker. He's like, "You're going to sign the deal I offer you, or you're not going to get signed," is basically how I feel it went. And it became a big ego competition, not a I don't have the money competition.
So
And then
I
he
know
took a
this
shitty
isn't.
trade. So
I know. Well, I think he probably got a pretty good trade out of him. To be honest with you. Yeah, I don't understand that. The Cowboys, it's gonna be rough. They hired Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach, who, I don't think Brian's been a head coach anywhere before. I think this is his first head coaching job. You're falling into a division that has the Eagles and Commanders in it. Luckily for the Cowboys, they have the NFC New York hot garbage Giants in it. I mean, so to jump around a little bit, the Giants. I like their coach Ryan Double. I think he's a good coach. I think their executive leadership above him sucks. The general manager. Did you watch any of the Hard Knocks 2 years ago when they were doing the Giants?
no, I don't think I did.
The owner came down and was talking to the general manager, and the general manager was saying they wanted to get rid of Saquon Barkley, and the owner's like, "Well, it's your job. It's your job, but I think this is a mistake." The Giants general manager lets him go. What's Saquon go and do? Probably has his best year with the Super Bowl with their biggest rival. So the Giants are a mess. It's not the players' fault. They got Russell Wilson that's going to be starting quarterback. You got Jameis Winston in there, who's going to be the main backup, and then they got Jackson Dart, who they're going to eventually hand the reins over to when the time comes this year to see what he can do. But they need to start over from the top. They need to start over at the GM position. Unfortunately, that means Dabo's probably going to go, who I think is a quality coach. I hope he gets another chance somewhere here shortly. They got to start over from the ground up. That leaves the top two, the Eagles and the Commanders. I think they'll both make the playoffs. I really like Jaden Daniels. That guy is a good quarterback. He's on a rookie deal, so they can spend a lot of money at other positions that other teams can't. And then the Eagles they're spectacular. They're a great team. They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line. Saquon, Jalen Hurts. To me, they are the class of the NFC. And as bad as the Giants front office is, the Eagles front office is that good.
See, and I got the Eagles going down this year. They're going to drop games. I think Saquon's going to get 1,300 yards or less this year. I got the bet at 1450, but I think it's going to be an easy win for me to collect on that one. But I see the Commanders winning the division rather easily. I really do. But I know the Eagles are going to be second, but they're not going to have the stellar year that everybody thinks they're going to. I think that'll be my hot take again, and I'm sure I'll get yelled at by Eagles fans again because I already have. But the Eagles aren't going to have a good season. They're not going to have their normal let's burn the city down season that they are used to. So I got them coming in second to the Commanders, and that's only because the Cowboys are so horrible and the Giants that neither one of the other two teams can do anything about
Garbage.
it. So it's got to be the Eagles in second. Yeah. So you got the Commanders running away with it on my end, and then the Eagles having a normal team season that isn't that exciting. But that's just me and my hatred of the Eagles, apparently, especially Saquon.
Because fuck them. That's the excuse I use.
If you look back at Saquon's rushing stats, he's had one good year. like one standout season where he broke 2,000 yards, and every other season as high has been 1,300 yards. So I don't see him having that great of a season. Everybody has one good year in them.
All right. So the NFC North, your true love, your true loves division, the Chicago Bears. Bears got a new coach and Ben Johnson, who was the Lions offensive coordinator last year. So I mean, if we're going through like we have the Lions last year, 15-2. Vikings were 14-3, Packers 11-6, Bears and 5-12. So being honest about it here, I'm going to take the Packers to win the division. I think the trade of Micah really solidified it. I think the Lions are going to take a step back, not because of the players, but because of the coaches. And Dan Campbell's a great coach, but he lost both of his coordinators. Aaron Glenn went to the Jets. Ben Johnson went to the Bears. That's a lot of coaching to lose. Dan Campbell, when he makes the final decisions, he's not making the game plans. He approves the game plans, but he's not making them. So that's a lot. That's a whole lot of coaching to lose. The Vikings, they're going to JJ McCarthy. They let Sam Darnold went. He left as via free agency, went to Seattle. I don't have the faith that JJ McCarthy is going to do as good as Sam Darnold. It's not his rookie year, but it is his rookie year. He missed all last year with injury, so he's coming back from injury. He hasn't played in the league yet. He hasn't played in a year, and he's got a team that has high potential. They're going to be limited by JJ McCarthy. Are they going to go 500? Yeah, probably. Are they going to make the playoffs? They might squeak in because there's only going to be one team that makes it from the South. Probably going to be one team that makes it from the West. So there's a chance they make it in. But that's my feeling on the Vikings. Like I said, the Packers, I think they're going to be the class of the division. I think they're going to really put it together. I think they're going to be around for the number one seed. I think they're going to get the bye in the number one seed and play out home team through the playoffs, which if the NFC is going through Green Bay, that's a tough place to play. And then the Bears. Ben Johnson coming in as the new head coach from the Lions. Caleb Williams as the quarterback. I don't know. To me, they're in a show me year. To be honest with you, I don't know what Ben Johnson can do. He's confident. I'll give him that. But Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to be the guy as good as everybody thought he was going to be. And that's all right. There's been a whole lot of number one picks that haven't worked out. And he's just going to be another one of them. So I don't see the Bears doing any better than fourth in the division.
So I got the North set up pretty easy for me, and it's gonna rattle some heads like my picks always do. We got the Packers going in first since they got that big trade. So that pretty much seals them going to the playoffs right there in the number one spot. And then I got the Bears coming in. The Bears are going to be second in the division. I think they're going to put it together for once and actually slide in there. I got the Lions in third. That's because old Geoff is going to go down, at least for a few games this year. That's going to knock the Lions back to reality a little bit, that there's nothing behind him. I think he's going to get hurt. I just have that feeling that he's going to go down with a minor injury, not a career-ending one. And Minnesota, I have zero faith in their quarterback coming in. I agree with you that they're going to go maybe a little bit over 500, but I don't see much more than that out of him. So, but the big hot take is Lions are going to lose their quarterback for a few games, and they're going to drop some, and the Bears are going to get second in the division. There you go. There's your hot take on that one.
All right. Wrap that up and give it to a kid on Christmas.
NFC South. Let's get her going.
Besides the Buccaneers are the only team that's going to have a winning record. Let's be honest. I'm a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I'm a big fan of Baker. I like him. The Falcons are growing. Michael Penix Jr., I think, is going to be okay. I think he needs another year before they're really ready to step up into the Showtime area. The Panthers, Dave Canales is coach, Bryce Young. I just don't think they're there. My guess is Canales going to end up on the hot seat because of it. I don't know if he deserves it though. Once again, I think coaches take the downfalls for bad GMs. And then the Saints, I don't know what the hell the Saints are doing. They're starting with Spencer Rattler, who's a third-year player out of South Kakalaki.
I think
The
they're going
backup
to
is
rattle themselves into the second place there. That's what I think they're going to do. I think the Saints are going to rattle themselves right up there.
They got Tyler Shaw as the backup. I think they're playing for the number one pick, hoping if they get number one pick that Arch will decide to leave college and come be the savior in New Orleans. I think this feels like 1,000% play of like we're dropping it. We're taking a shitty year to get Arch Manning.
I know you said it last week, and I still don't believe that that's what they're doing, because I think Rattler started at Oklahoma, and then he went to South Carolina, and he gave us a hell of a run when he was at Oklahoma. I'm just saying. I think that he's growing real fast, and I think that they're going to take second in that division this year. I think he's going to rattle his ass right up there.
All right.
But
we'll
we'll
agree to disagree on that one.
I think they're going the opposite direction that you think they're going. So the Falcons, I think they're going to be just above mediocre. I really do. If they win second in the division, it's because nobody else got poked with a stick to do anything. And the Panthers, their quarterback is not the future of that franchise by any means, and I think he's going to bring him down like a 10th grade pothead. I really do.
Well, you know what's funny is that draft a few years ago, Bryce Young was the one that everybody wanted, and C.J. Stroud was the guy that kind of got left behind. And really, it's worked out the opposite.
I was happy when the Texans took Stroud. So
yeah,
I knew he was going to be the better one.
So then going up to the NFC West to finish it off. Last year the Rams and Seahawks both ended 10-7. Cardinals went 8-9. Niners went 6-11. The Rams, the question is Stafford healthy? Will he play? Will he play this season? They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo to be his backup just in case. I found it weird that they kept a third quarterback with Stetson Bennett, which makes me question how good Stafford's back is or whatever the injury is. Had they gone with only just him and Jimmy G at quarterback, I would have been like, yep, he's healthy, we're ready to go. The fact that they kept a third, that kind of spooks me a little bit. Seahawks, Mike McDonald's coaching. They brought in Sam Darnold, who had that nice year in Minnesota last year. Drew Lock, the guy as the backup, the guy who came from the fucking Broncos. And they drafted Jalen Milroe, who is an interesting guy. For Milroe's hope, I hope he doesn't have to play at all this year. I think Milroe needs to be able to take a year and really do the work at the practice field, become a more accurate quarterback. I think the potential's there. He's got the size. He needs to get it together. The Cardinals, I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. They're going to go however Kyler Murray takes them, to be honest with you. As long as Call of Duty doesn't have any double XP weekends during the NFL season, Kyler Murray will be fine. And the 49ers, they went 6-11 last year. I love Kyle Shanahan. I love their offense. Brock Purdy, got paid as he deserved. The question is, how long does Christian McCaffrey last? If he can stay healthy, I think they can win the division. If he can't stay healthy, it becomes a lot more difficult. They got Brian Robinson as a running back too, who I think is a good running back, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not a healthy Christian McCaffrey. As far as the division goes, if Stafford is healthy and can play the whole year, I think I'll take the Rams. If McCaffrey's healthy and can play the whole season, I want the Niners. If both of those happen, I don't know. I think they'll both make the playoffs. I don't know how Matthew Stafford's going to be. If he's healthy, they have a chance. If he's not, they're done.
If Stafford's healthy, I think they win it. I honestly do. I also have San Francisco coming in third because I think they've lost too many pieces, and I just don't think they can do it again and hang at the top of that division. It's hard because you know how I feel about the toddler that runs around in Arizona, because it's always steals his mom's phone and runs around behind the line of scrimmage too much. But I got him coming in second with the Cards down there. But it all depends on San Francisco. I mean, I think they're gonna fall off quite a bit this year, but if they don't, they're gonna be right up the top. And if Stafford's hurt, they're going to be right down there at the bottom. It's just how that division's going to play out. A lot of the analysts have the Cardinals making the playoffs, and I think that'll be a tough sell. Even if they take second to the Rams, I don't think they can make it into the playoffs. But if San Francisco actually plays like everybody thinks they're going to, they'll take one of the spots. But I don't think the Cardinals can.
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think the West is a mess.
Who do you got going into the playoffs?
From the NFC, we're going to go Eagles, Commanders, Packers, Buccaneers. Let's do Rams and 49ers, and give me the Lions.
The Lions, huh? I guess that would be your interchanger for the Bears that I threw out there. So, yeah, other than that, like I said, I don't know why, but a lot of people have the Cardinals going to the playoffs. I just don't see it. And honestly, it's the last wild card spot out of, the Eagles, Bucks, Cards, Packers, the Rams, and I have the Bears instead of the Lions because of what I think that's going to happen to the Lions. But it honestly is a coin flip between the Falcons and the Panthers. It's whoever else plays in that division, and actually there's going to be a surprising team that rolls up through there in the NFC. And it could that maybe Radler rattles his ass into the playoffs. You don't know. But that last wild card spot is honestly going to be a crazy, you got to win this game, this person's got to lose that game type of field to get that last team in, because it's going to be too close. It's not going to be a cut or dry at the end of the season. It's going to be that whole mathematics that ain't mathing to get one team in there is how I think that's going to go on that side. AFC is a little bit more cut and dry on it. I mean, it's not really a coin flip over there. You got Baltimore, Kansas City, the Texans, and the Bills right out of the gate. Those are pretty much sold. I know you're sold pretty high on the Steelers going, and the Chargers. Who's the last one that you're putting in there? Are you sticking the Broncos in, or are you going to stick the Patriots or the Jaguars?
AFC, we're going Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, all making it. Bills, Texans, Chiefs, Chargers.
You got the Chargers in there.
So that going through.
So who?
NFC side, I see the Eagles getting the bye. I see the Packers and the Eagles are going to be the NFC Championship game. I'm going to take the Packers. I think the Packers are good. AFC wise, I hate it. I hate it. I think it's going to be the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and I'm going to take the Ravens. I hate it. Have I mentioned I hate my pick for the AFC Championship? And I hate my Super Bowl pick even worse, because I'm fucking taking the fucking Rats from fucking Baltimore to win the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, at least you'll have a little fun with my picks then, because apparently I pick similar to you, at least in the AFC side. We got the Chiefs and Baltimore in the championship, but I got the Chiefs winning it all this year, so they got to go to the championship game. And then I got the Bucks and the Packers on the NFC side, with the Bucks playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So,
wow,
I think the Chiefs are going to take it home, and I think we're going to lose.
The biggest problem I have with that is I think that would mean the Bucks are going to go up to Green Bay in January and win.
I don't think Green Bay is going to be number one going in. So I think that Green Bay is going to go to Tampa Bay.
All right.
So I got them going the other way because I think the Packers may win their division, but they're not going to win it high enough to get the home field advantage.
All right. So there we have it. So I have Baltimore winning it, and you have the Chiefs winning it. I believe we agreed on our AFC Championship game and our NFC.
The AFC we did agree on, which is surprising.
Yeah, the NFC I guess we both have the Packers going to the championship game, but yeah, that's. You know what? I hope the Buccaneers go because I hope the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl. I would love to see Baker in the Super Bowl. I think he's awesome. I am a big Baker Mayfield fan. I would feel great for Baker Mayfield if he made it. So yeah, go Bucks if that's the case. Todd Bowles, I think, is a good coach. Like I said, I love Bakes. I think he's awesome. Baker, if you need a best friend, call me. I am here for you.
So who do you got winning the MVP this year?
I'm going to go Jordan Love.
That's an extreme hot take. You better build that one up with a little facts behind it there, sir.
I think the Packers are just going to be too fucking solid of a team. I think they're going to probably look at being 14-3, 15-2. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC. Now, anything can happen in the playoffs, but he's going to be the quarterback of a team that I think is going 14-3, they're going to give him the MVP.
All right. There's your hot take for MVP from the old flounder there. I'm going to go with the Goldie and Oldie here, and we're going with Mahomes. The Mahomie's going to have his season again one last time with the Kelsey before the Kelsey retires and becomes the nice podcaster and announcer and all the off-field money that he's getting person. The Mahomie's taking the MVP this year and the championship.
All right.
And riding off into the sunset with his double cheeseburger and State Farm.
I like it.
Yeah. So it's better than Farmers, I guess, but who knows? So, anything else you want to line up on the NFL hot takes?
Yeah, I guess that's I think I've kind of made my calls. The Saints are going to be picking number 1 to start even though I'm saying the Broncos are going 0-17. I don't really mean it. I just hope it. Saints are going to be number 1 pick. I think the Browns are going to get 2 picks in the top 5, unfortunately, which is going to allow us to turn our stuff around after this year. And at some point, the commies are going to rock those Redskins jerseys that they are bringing back, and it's going to be awesome. I hope the commies will do the helmet with the old Redskin logo. I can't think of the Chiefs' name right now. That's my bad. I hope they go ahead and just make that the official mascot. Stay the Commanders. I don't care. But bring back that mascot because that is awesome. It's an awesome mascot. And it's an awesome jersey look. And fuck the Broncos.
I believe that's the Flounder's mic drop. He said what he had to say, and he's just had enough for the evening. So I'm guessing that's going to end up our episode right there. I'm going to throw a little hot take out there for you. I think you need to keep your eye on the Rattling Saints. And I think the Packers aren't going to be quite as good as what the Flounder thinks, but I still think they're going to be up there. And the Chiefs take her all. That's what we got. Oh, and Saquon Barkley is going to have a horrible season. Make sure we throw that back in there one more time just so I can get smacked around on the old internet. All right, guys, that's what we have for you today. Thanks for watching, and make sure you stop by, check out the page, hit that like button, participate in some of the polls. I'm going to throw a poll out there and give you some options on who you think is going to be the MVP or maybe even the Super Bowl. But we're going to have a poll on this episode on Spotify. Make sure that you join in on it, and we will look forward to seeing the outcome of that. We'll announce it on the end of it. And thanks for watching one more time. It's called Frosty, Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flower.
Well, I guess. I think it should be Dr. Parker, but...